If you're planning on making yourself a pair of cosplay shoes from scratch, then you're going to want to watch this video so that you understand what pieces you're going to need and in which order you need to think about things. Now, first and foremost, you need to, of course, choose your character. So whether you're making Sailor Moon boots or something a bit more rustic like Daenerys Targaryen, you're going to need to decide on the overall shape of the shoe or the boot. Now, the reason this is so important is because the absolute first thing we need to think of when it comes to the parts of the shoe is the shoemaking last. Now, we have a little saying in the footwear industry, which is that the lasts come first. And more than ever with costume and cosplay, we need to get the lasts absolutely perfect before we start designing the shoes. Now, the lasts determine a lot of things. They determine the heel height of the shoe, the toe shape of the shoe, the size of the shoe, the width of the shoe. So whilst it's easy to find standard size and shape lasts, there's a lot that you can do in terms of customizing them to really get the right shape that's authentic to the look you're going for. Now, people build up lasts for various reasons. One might be that you might have quite a wide foot, for instance, and you need to build up the width for comfort and fit. And the other reason is to build up the last to sort of change the look and feel or the shape of the last. So this is most commonly seen around the toe shape. And for example, it might be that you want to take a round-toed last and turn it into a square-toed last if that's more appropriate for the character design that you're going for. So once you've got your lasts, you're also going to need what we call an upper. Now, the upper part of a shoe could be anything as complicated as a whole knee-high boot, or it could be as simple as a single strap across a toe. So the part of the shoe that's actually going over the top of your foot is called the upper. Now, in order to create the patterns for your uppers, you will need the last. So this is why, again, it's so important that you pick out the correct last first. In order to make the patterns, we simply coat the lasts in masking tape, we draw on our design, flatten it onto paper, add some allowances, and create the uppers out of leather or fabric or whatever your material of choice is. But in order to make a pair of shoes, you are going to need to make an upper. And the uppers is really the fun part. This is where you can draw a huge amount of inspiration from your character of choice and really get down to the intricate details that are going to make your shoe as authentic as possible. So once you've got your lasts and you've made your uppers, there are a few other components that you're going to need to complete your shoes. The next thing on the list is the insoles. Now, whether you're making a flat shoe or a heeled shoe, there are different types of insoles. Typically for flat shoes, I like to use a Texon cellulose board, and I don't tend to put any sort of shank or anything in there. I like it to be quite flexible so that I've got movement with my foot. But when it comes to a heeled shoe, you do need to have a really sturdy insole board because that's what's going to hold the arch of the foot from collapsing and create structure to the overall shoe. I often refer to the insole board as the backbone of the shoe because you're going to build the whole shoe around it and it is going to sort of keep everything together at the end as well. Now, again, it's so important to have our lasts first because we need the insole to match our lasts perfectly. So if you're going to be making adjustments to your last for the shape or the size, you do need to make those adjustments before you make your insoles. Now, depending on the style of shoe or boot that you're making, you may need to put stiffeners inside the uppers as well. These are going to really hold the shape of the shoe and keep it looking structured once you take the last out. If the design of the shoe that you're doing is open-toed or just a really soft look, then you can go ahead and leave out the stiffeners altogether. Next, you're going to need soles. Now, this is one of the areas where I see cosplay shoes always falling short, and it's because they just don't seem to have proper soles on them. Now, again, whether you're doing a heeled shoe or a flat shoe, there are various different ways that you can build up soles to get the look that you want to achieve. Either way, I like to use resin soling and I simply cut it to shape to match exactly the base of the shoe. If you're working with thick vegetable tanned leathers, you can even dye your soles to get a different color, again allowing you the creativity to really make your costume as authentic as possible. Now, when it comes to heels, you need to make sure that your heels, again, fit your last. If you haven't guessed already, making a pair of shoes is very much like putting together a puzzle, and it's imperative that all the pieces fit together to get a really good professional looking finished shoe. Now, when it comes to heels, there are two types. There are so many different styles, don't get me wrong, but there's two real types. The main one that we see is going to be called a stacked heel, and a stacked heel goes over the top of the sole and sort of comes straight down the front. The alternative is a Louis heel. Now, a Louis heel has a curved area on the base, and this area is called the leaf. This is designed for the sole to go all the way across the bottom of the shoe and then right down the leaf of the heel. There's no right or wrong, they're just two different types of heels, and the choice is yours. Heels get attached to the shoe by drilling them directly through the insole board, so you do need to take your lasts out of the shoe before you try attaching your heels. And last but not least, you'll want a set of insole socks. Now, these go on the inside of the shoe and are a great opportunity to add in some comfort foam or a little extra arch support should you need it. And that's all the pieces that you will need to create your own cosplay shoes or boots from scratch. For more detailed tutorials about how to make shoes, how to make boots, and how to make customizations, you can follow along with my online shoemaking course at ICANMAKESHOES.com. Hi, I'm Amanda, and I thought I would give you a quick bit of information on my online courses. I run both an online course on how to make your own leather shoes from home and how to make your own luxury leather handbags from home as well. They're totally separate courses, so if you're only interested in one and not the other, you can enroll in them individually. But if you are interested in learning about leather accessories in general, you can enroll in both courses as a bundle. The shoemaking course has over 50 hours of video tutorials spanning across styles like sandals, shoes, sneakers, heels, right up to boots. We cover custom fitting as well as download print and go patterns and all the information about the tools and supplies needed to make your own shoes from home. I've been running my shoemaking courses since 2010, and we've already got over 2,000 people worldwide enrolled in our online shoemaking community, and it is growing every day. My bag making online course is a little bit younger than my shoemaking one. However, it's just as good. I've got various different styles, including bags made on domestic sewing machines, as well as luxury hand stitching techniques. My bag making online course has already got 10 step-by-step tutorials, as well as luxury techniques such as edge dyeing, hardware, reinforcements, and bag accessories. I even have a section on small leather luxury goods. If you're interested in getting started but not quite ready to make the commitment just yet to the full course, I'll leave some links somewhere around here for my 2 free introduction courses, one of them on shoemaking and one of them on bag making. And if you are ready to make the full commitment, keep in mind you will have full lifetime access to the whole course, so you can pick it up and put it down however often you please. That's it from me. I always love to hear from you, so if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime.